Welcome, it's Analena Fuchs here, and I have the honor to deliver for you the Quantum Human Design Evolution Report on behalf of Karen Curry Parker and her team. I myself am a spiritual business and love coach and also a quantum human design specialist certified in level 3, going on to level 4. And I'm super honored to be doing this with you. I will peek at my notes once in a while because I had so many creative juices flowing through me as I was writing it, and I want to make sure I don't miss anything. So we are starting off this week with the Sun in Gate 47 and the Earth in Gate 22. And we're going to start out a little bit with the Sun Gate first. So the Gate 47 in human design is called the Gate of Realization. It's right off the ajna. And in quantum human design, it's called the Gate of Mindset. And this gate is basically now the other part of the channel of divine potential, because just before this, the Sun was actually in Gate 64 of divine transference, which was all about receiving big ideas, right? So now that we have gone through this energy of receiving big ideas, now it's going through the complementing gate of this channel, which is the gate of mindset. And this energy is all about now having a positive mindset about, especially those big ideas that came your way, that you're in the mindset of like, what's possible, instead of being defeated and feel overwhelmed, like, yeah, but how can I make this happen? I'm not good enough, and all those things, right? So this energy is really inviting us to be open-minded, to be possibility-oriented, like, I'm curious, what's possible for me, right? And in human design, the mind is not here to figure anything out, right? The mind is here to wander and to be curious, and that's exactly what this is inviting us to be in, without this need that we are like needing to figure it out, right? We will not know the how. Our human design strategy will show you the how one step at a time. And I want to talk a little bit about mindset, because mindset is a really widely used word in the self-development world, right? And it's often, we hear this like, yeah, just have a positive mindset, and that's the most important, right? And the reality is, like, right now, especially in this week and under this energy, is of really major importance that we make an effort to shift our focus towards the possibilities, towards the expansion, towards new ways of thinking and being, and really be optimistic of what is possible for us, right? And this may not always be easy, right? Because the world around you may be really turbulent, there may be things going on, and our conditioning, of course, right? We can have easily like a tendency to get caught up in negative mental loops and talk into like things like, I'm not good enough, or I can't do it, or others can do it, I can't, and we feel totally overwhelmed, and it's like a vicious cycle we can get into, right? But the thing is that that's the message I really want to give you, is like, you have the power to choose, right? And one thing that I actually recently heard in a training, which I want to share you with you, is like, you're not your thoughts, you're the thinker of your thoughts, right? So you have the thoughts, but you can decide where you want to shift them, right? And what's really, really important here is that when you get caught up in these negative mental loops, which will happen, right? Like, we are humans, we live in a world of polarity, we have thousands and thousands of thoughts, and there will be negative thoughts coming up. What's really important is that we don't resist them, because when we resist them, this inner critic, when it comes up, we're actually giving it more power, right? When we're trying to run away from it, like, because we don't like it, that actually gives it more fuel and more power, and then these mental loops will actually take you over more likely. What I invite you instead, that will help you get into a more positive way of thinking and being, is to just be like really curious and acknowledge and be lovingly with this inner critic within yourself, like, okay, and just really notice it and have a little self-talk that could be like, all right, I hear you, I love you, okay, that's what you're scared of, or you think you're not good enough to figure anything out, and life is hard and all the things. I hear you, I get it. But what if it's possible? Let's just, for today, let's just shift our thinking and let's just change the story, because what we have been doing in the past hasn't been working so well, getting stuck in these negative thoughts. Why not focus on something that may be possible, even though we don't know how that looks like yet, right? So of course, that's just like an example. I invite you to like choose your own words, but what this really is all about is about awareness and accepting that part of you, right? This inner critic that can totally show up, and do not resist it, because when we resist, persists. And what we can lovingly accept, right, that has the capacity to change, and that will change so much more with ease and grace when we do it instead of like resisting it and giving it more power, right? So it literally like will help you to melt those negative thoughts away when you can actually lovingly invite it, right? So why the sun is in gate 47 still, the earth is in gate 22, and the earth is all, that's the energy that makes us feel stable and grounded, right? So it's really important to be in this energy, so you can also live out the energies of the sun, which we would just talk about the mindset, how important that is, right? And so the gate 22 is the gate of grace in traditional human design, and the gate of surrender, like so love this name, in quantum human design. So this is all about being really in a place of letting go. And I also know that it's not always the easiest, but the more you can just letting go of trying to figure things out, and just relaxing your nervous system, however this looks like for you, if that's a deep breathing practice or meditation, but really letting go of trying to make things happen and figuring things out in the mind, right? And we're really more in this place of like the trust and faith and surrender. And I really want to invite you into this idea, like it's safe to trust, it's safe to have faith, it's safe to be in the realm of possibilities, and allow yourself to receive what the universe has available for you, right? And then really have the courage to go for your passions, right? Because Mother here is really now for the next 2 days is here to really help you ground into this energy and align your emotional energy, so it can also manifest. So take a deep breath into this. Allow yourself to really surrender. And then on Wednesday this week, on the 15th, the sun is transitioning into gate 6, and the earth is transitioning in gate 36. Now, this is really interesting because already like gate 22, which the earth was already in on Monday and Tuesday, it's all gates on the emotional solar plexus, or the creativity center in quantum human design. So it's going to be a lot of emotional energy. So we're going to talk also here now a little bit emotions, and especially emotional energy. So like I said, both of these gates, gate 6 and gate 36, are on the emotional solar plexus or creativity center. So it means we're going to have a lot of emotions and creative juices flowing for the rest of this week, right? And these energies are all about mastering your emotional alignment. And gate 6, that's where the sun will be in, is called the gate of friction in traditional human design, is called the gate of impact in quantum human design. And in its highest frequency, this gate is all about holding a high frequency of emotional energy, so that you can influence others and really make an impact, that in a way that it creates more peace, more fairness, and more sustainability for the tribe, right? And this all what's really important. It comes from your own emotional alignment, where you're more making decisions or take actions more deliberately, right? So what I want to go now a little bit deeper in here to make it really practical and useful for you is I want to tap into this term of holding a high frequency or emotional energy, right? So we may understand this like logically, but how can you actually do it, right? Because I mean, we learned this auto manifestation, like, yeah, you just raise your vibrations, raise your frequency, and then more goodness, like law of attraction, will come to you, right? Now, we all know that's not the easiest, right? So I want to explain this a little bit to you, how emotions, what are emotions and how do they work? So emotions are, like the word says, energy in motion. And the way nature intends emotions to be processed so that we can live the best, most successful life is through feeling them. And we have, as you know, we have emotions that feel good, we have emotions that don't feel so good. We call them positive and negative. And so we kind of make the negatives bad in a way, right? And the emotions like love, joy, and happiness, they're more high vibing emotions, higher frequency emotions. And emotions like sadness, fear, guilt, and shame, they're really low vibing emotions, right? Now, what is really important to understand is that, and Karen, she always says this best, is your baseline frequency, right? That's how we manifest, that's how we calibrate the G center, the magnetic monopole, so that we then attract through what we vibe out into the world, right? Now, it's important to know that this is the baseline frequency, right? Which is kind of the average of all the emotions that we're feeling. And we have high emotions, we have low emotions, we are humans, we all experience them. Again, we live in a world of polarity, just like with the thinking, with the mindset game was about positive and negative thoughts. Remember what I invited you to explore is like actually allowing and inviting the negative thoughts, and through awareness and acceptance, it release them quickly and shift your focus. Now, it's very similar with emotions. And they're also, of course, connected, because when we have a negative thought, that more triggers a negative emotion. When we have more positive thought, it also creates more high vibing emotions. But as you know, and especially also for those of you that have emotional authority, right? We experience as humans, we have high highs, we have low lows. It's all happening. And also people with an undefined emotional solar plexus, we actually amplify the high highs and the low lows, right? So we all, like mixing this all together, there will be like an average baseline frequency that comes from this. Now, and this is all perfect, this is how it's meant to be. And the key factor here is actually that we do not resist the emotions that feel uncomfortable, right? When sadness comes up, or shame or guilt, even anger, it's not here to react on, but it's here to acknowledge it and to really feel it so that you can release this from your body. Because what happens when we also here again resist, when we resist those emotions, we interrupt the natural cycle. Emotions, they need to be felt. We need to feel the full cycle, and then they can move out of our body. They can keep flowing. I always like to make it visual, like colored smoke. So if I feel the emotion, it can move on, it can pass through my body. But when I resist an emotion, and these are always the negative ones that we tend to resist as humans, and we have been actually conditioned growing up, like don't cry, don't be sad, like we have learned it's a bad thing, right? It's not confident, it's not being in our power and all these things. But when we resist those emotions, we interrupt the natural flow of the emotions, and then the energy stays stuck in our body. And that will then lower our, because we give it more power, just like with the negative thoughts, right? They can take over the negative emotions, and they take more space in our bodies, and then our baseline frequency goes down. And that's then what we calibrate our G center magnetic monopole with, and then we attract more unpleasant experiences into our life, right? So I hope this was helpful, just to like kind of reflect on this a little bit. And so it's all about here allowing yourself to feel whichever emotions come up without any judgment, right? Just knowing this is part of being a human. And the more you can allow yourself to feel this, the more gracefully you can release this, and then create more deliberately. So this will really help you when you feel the emotions. It will really help you to create more deliberately. And the unbalanced expression of gate 6, right, the gate of impact, is where we feel like desperate and we are getting emotionally reactive, right? Where we were like, while we are feeling strong emotions, we're taking actions, or we're saying things that we don't want to. most often from the place of like, we want to be heard and we want to be seen, right? And instead, I invite you to really gently notice when this arises, because it may arise with this energy. It's really strong during this week. Notice that it's arising for you, feel the emotions, and then shift your focus back to how you really want to feel. So key message here is to lovingly accept the negative emotions as they arise, so they don't stay stuck in our energy field. And this will then really naturally help you to be less reactive and allow you to create more impact, state of impact, right, in the world more deliberately. And it's going to be win-win, let me tell you this, right? Because you're going to feel more peaceful within yourself, you feel better with yourself, and you're going to have such a bigger influence on the people in the world. And especially because you will then more take action when the timing is right. We're not pushing against it, right? And this will then also, like, when you create from the space of more emotional alignment, you feel more, you actually create, you make the impact in the world of also creating more peace, more sustainability, and more equitability for others in the world as well, right? So it's always a win-win. And then the Earth will be in gate 36, which is the gate of crisis in human design, which that's not a very sexy word, right? Which can also make us feel a little bit defeated. However, in quantum human design, it's a beautiful word. And this is why I love quantum human design so much, because yes, like Karen says, words carry energy, right? And when you say instead, it's a gate of exploration, hey, that sounds so much better, right? So that's what we want to focus on. We want to focus on exploration. So this again is the energy that helps you feel stable and grounded. And that energy is inviting us to really hold a vision and again sustain it through emotional alignment, right? So that you can then manifest when the timing is right. It's asking us not to make quick decisions and leap into chaos, right? Because we can't stick with things and we jump from one thing to the next. That's more the lower expression of this energy, right? It's all about be patient, allow the emotions to come and you feel them. Same dynamics here as with all the gates on the emotional solar plexus or the creativity center. And when you tap into this, you really allow it, you're being more patient, that's when you will see magic happen, and it will really bear fruits for you. And it reminds me of this quote from Lao Tzu. It's like, nature doesn't hurry, yet everything gets accomplished. And for me as a manifesting generator, that's such a beautiful reminder anyways, right? Because we can be so fast. And one of the most magical things for myself has also been to slow down and let life show me and guide me and all of this. So always really make sure that you make decisions when you're in an emotional neutral space. And that always, as you will know, will go back to following your human design strategy and authority. And even when you're not, if you don't have emotional authority, right? I myself, I'm a 2-4 manager with sacral authority. When emotions are high, when I have high intensity, when I'm amplifying an emotional way, for example, I cannot really tap into my sacral. That really happens when when I have processes, when I have felt it, then I can really clearly tap into my sacral. So, and this is then when we are in this space, that's where we can then, with this energy of gate 36, we have the potential to create new patterns for humanity and really be a creator of this new world that we're diving into, right? And this whole shift towards 2027 with the emotional solar plexus mutation is all about creating more deliberately and not so reactive, right? So, and this is then where we can also then see miracles happen, those things that we couldn't even think were possible, right? Those big ideas that gate 64 gave us, like all of a sudden, through emotional alignment and a positive mindset, we create those miracles. So it's so beautiful. And I love how this is all tied together in the human design chart. It's just magical. And to sum this up, I just want to give you like a summary or message for this week is like, you're neither your thoughts nor your emotions, right? You just think of your thoughts and you're just feeling them, that's all. Yet it's so important that you do not resist. any of this. Notice it lovingly and know that you have the power to shift. You can make a choice, right? You can shift into thinking and then also feeling what you truly desire in your heart, right? And then from this place, I invite you to really expect miracles, because literally anything is possible. That's where all the magic happens. And this was my report for you. It was such a joy to do this with you. And again, you can also find me on social media. I'm sure Kristen will make sure she lets you know how to get in touch with me. I love you all. I love the whole community here. And I hope that you all have a beautiful, beautiful week, and really love all that's coming up for you, right? All the thinking and all the fields, and know there is so much magic and miracles on the other side. So I'm sending you all my love, and I hope I see you soon. Bye for now.